Hi you guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be walking you guys through what it's like getting your very first pair of pointe shoes. So whether you're a student getting your first pair of pointe shoes or a parent, be sure to follow along in this video. I hope it's really informational and I can tell you guys as much as I know and some of my tips since I've done this all before. So let's get on with the video. So the very first thing when you get your pair of pointe shoes is your teacher probably pulled you aside and told you like, hey, I think you're ready to get on pointe, your feet are looking really good, your ballet technique is strong, and so I think we can take that next step and get on pointe, which, yay, that's so exciting for you. I remember when I got told I was getting on pointe, I was so excited. It was literally the best day ever, and going and getting my first pair. The whole experience is just super fun for you, and so it's a big deal. And so your studio might have a pointe shoe shop in mind that they take all of their dancers to, or they've gone to for years. And so if your studio does have that shop in mind, great, you're all set and ready to go. If your studio doesn't tell you exactly where to go, then I would call around to different dance stores in your town. You can sort of think of pointe shoe brands like Nike's, Adidas, Hoka's, like they're sort of like that. There are so many different pointe shoe brands out there, and like just off the top of my head, I could name Nikolai, Block, Breeds, Suffolk, R-Class, Fresh and Point, Sodances, Gainers, Duval's, Bertice, Merlet, Marilla, Grishko. Like there are so many pointe shoe brands out there. So make sure that when you're calling around to different stores, ask them how many different brands they carry. If they carry, I would say less than 4 brands, then maybe try calling around to a different store. Because if that store only carries 3 brands, that limits the number of options and what shoe is going to be right for your child's foot. If that store carries 8 or 9 brands, then that is great, and there are going to be so many options for your child, and they're sure to find like a really good shoe that they'll be able to dance in well. Also, if you're not in the right shoe, that can be really bad for injuries, so you want to get fitted properly. So once you've found a store and you have an appointment booked, you'll go and they'll probably take a look at your child's foot. They'll measure your foot, see what size you'll be. They'll take a look at the width of your foot. They'll look at your toes and see if your toes are more on a slant or they're more straight across from the top. They'll take a look at the arch of your foot. They'll see how compressible your foot is. And then from there, that'll sort of give them a good idea on what shoes to grab for you if they're a good fitter. Now I'll tell you guys like the different parts of a pointe shoe, because that's super crucial to know when you're gonna go on pointe. This is one of my old pointe shoes. This is a Block brand and it is the style Hannah Strong. Right here, this top part of the pointe shoe is called the box of the pointe shoe. And this on the back, right through here, is called the shank of your pointe shoe. Along here, on that side and that side, those are the wings of your pointe shoe. This is the heel of your pointe shoe. And then right through here in the center, this is the vamp of your pointe shoe. And the tip that you'll be dancing and turning on, this is the platform of your pointe shoe. Some things to know about a pointe shoe is that they'll come in different shanks. The shank is the inside of the shoe, and it can be made up of several different things, but you can get a soft shank, a medium shank, a hard shank. Depending on how fast you break down the shoe, the shank will bend to your arch. You can see here it's made up of several different parts. So the shank will bend to your arch. Pliable like this is a dead shoe. It's super pliable now, and that's how you know your shoes are dead. Or some dancers, the box will break down for them, and the sides will start caving in. Here, let me find you a better shoe. This is a really dead pointe shoe. It's a different brand, but you can see that the box is completely flat and I'm able to just squish it down like that. The wings on the side have just like completely caved in, and the shank is super bendy and pliable compared to a brand new pointe shoe. So this is how you know your shoes are dead. Sometimes the platform of the pointe shoe will get squishy too. This one's like squishy, it's crazy. This is a really dead shoe. But when you go into the store, the fitter might have you try them on. They might have you go in positions. They could have you go in first, they could have you go in second. They'll have you go in parallel, they'll have you plie to see if the shoe's too tight. It'll be your first time, so you won't exactly know like the answers to what they're asking you, but just try to answer to the best of your knowledge. It's gonna be sort of hard, but You'll get there, and whatever shoe feels the best will work. And even if it's not your shoe, you'll go home and you'll dance on it and you'll learn that. And so then at least you know a little bit more than coming back and do it the next time. Now some conversation for the parents. Parents, pointe shoes can range from $80 to $140. Usually they're somewhere around $100, but just go into it knowing that the first time you're probably going to have to buy the pair of pointe shoes. Pointe shoes come, let me show you a brand new pair I have. This is a brand new pair. Pointe shoes come without those ribbons or elastics on them, so that you do have to purchase those separately. They're not much, but you will have to buy those too and sew them on your shoe. The ribbons and elastics that you have to sew onto them look like this. You'll need 4 elastics, 4 or 2 elastics, and then you'll need 2 pieces of ribbon. You might have to buy a bag to put all of your child's stuff in. You'll have to buy toe pads for your child to wear underneath their pointe shoes to protect their feet. Some people also wear toe spacers with their pointe shoes to wear in between their toes, so you might have to purchase those as well. You'll also have to purchase a sewing kit to sew those ribbons and elastic onto, because you'll need thread, needles, safety pins, all of the things. So this is actually the Suffolk sewing kit. Block has a really good starter kit. Nikolai has a really good starter kit. So just to help you guys out there. But just know the first time that you go get pointe shoes, it's going to be way more expensive than the rest of the times. The rest of the times you'll just have to buy the shoes and maybe ribbons or elastic. You won't have to buy all of this extra stuff. Some extra things that you might have to buy are these dancer's dots. These are gels that you can put on your foot. Then they help so much with pain. Like if you have a blister and you put one of these on top of it, the pain literally goes away. These are miracle workers, but there is a cheaper version on Amazon. It's called Skin on Skin. I recommend getting those because those are way cheaper, and the box that they come in is like that big. So there's a lot more for a lot better of a price. You can also buy toe tape. Toe tape you can wrap around your toes. That'll help prevent blisters underneath your toe pads too. And this is one type of pointe shoe bag you can get. There's also this pointe shoe bag from Nikolai that you can get. This one's really nice because it has a side compartment where you can put your toe pads and your toe spacers, like in here. This Nikolai pointe shoe bag is really nice when you're an older dancer and you're rotating through shoes because it has 4 compartments inside of it, and so you can keep 4 pairs, which is a lot nicer, and I think it just keeps things more organized as you get older. You can also see from this pointe shoe compared to what I was showing you earlier, this doesn't squish like the one earlier was. This is nice and hard, and the shank is really hard to bend. It's a lot harder of a shoe. You can also tell by the noise they make. Okay, this is a new pointe shoe compared to an old pointe shoe. You can hear that this one's a lot more dull. Like, at your fitting, your pointe shoe may not be the same as all of your friends' shoes because everybody's feet are different, and so there are going to be so many shoes you're going to have to try on. Personally, I think I've gone through 5 or 6 different brands. It takes a long time to find a perfect shoe, and your first pair probably won't be your forever shoe, and it probably won't be your second or third pair either. Your first pair of pointe shoes will probably last you the longest amount of time because they'll be brand new, and the more and more pointe shoes you go through, the stronger and stronger your feet will get. And as I was saying earlier, there's different strengths of vamps you can get and different strengths of shoes. And so maybe you start off in a soft shoe, and then as your feet get stronger, the more you're on point, you'll work your way up to a harder shoe. I would love to have a pair a week, but my parents don't want to pay for that, and so I probably make them last 2 to 3 weeks. But you'll start going through your pointe shoes faster and faster as you get older. But it's super exciting to get your first pair of pointe shoes. Once you get your shoes and you come home, you are going to have to sew them. And so to learn how to sew your pointe shoes, you're going to see that in my next video. I'll put the link to that video down in the description. It's how to sew your pointe shoes and some tips on how to break them in. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that it was super informational and helpful, and congratulations on getting your first pair of pointe shoes. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and go follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys all next video.